Hello, scientists. We're going to do a little bit of talking today about winter trees. Here we are by our adopted tree, and you can see that it is completely bare. No more leaves on the tree. If I go up high, I can see a couple of nests that I believe were made by squirrels. And as we come back down a little bit lower, we're going to take a look at a couple of twigs that fell from our adopted tree. Here's one on the ground now. Let's take a look at the twig that came off of our adopted tree. I see some growth rings on here with a ring that goes all the way around. A lot of different growth rings. This branch has been growing for a while before it came off. So remember, these rings that go around the whole branch are called growth rings. And if you go out to your adopted tree, you can see the rings that go all the way around the branch, called growth rings. You can also see where leaves came off the tree. You can see those little leaf scars that are left when the leaf comes off the tree. When spring comes, we'll take a look at some of these branches, and maybe we'll see buds where new leaves are going to grow. We'll go inside now and do a little review. Here we see leaves on the trees. When there are no leaves on the trees, we call those trees bare. That's B-A-R-E, bare, meaning there are no leaves. The trees are bare. And many of the trees are bare in the coldest season, called winter. Trees that keep their leaves throughout the winter are called, do you remember? Evergreen. And do you remember that word conifers that we learned? Conifers are evergreen trees that have needles or scales. The long, thin ones are needles. Here are some examples of those needles. Take a look at some of the evergreen trees that have needles. There they are. Take a look at these. Look at those long needles on that evergreen tree. Those are the evergreen trees that have needles. Take a look at the images of some of the other evergreen trees. These are the ones that they call them scales, not needles. Remember that those conifer trees, the evergreen trees, have needles or scales. Here is an example of one of the trees that has scales. This is a spruce tree that has scales and not needles. We're going to read the last little article in our book about trees. We're all done with our study of trees. This chapter in this book is called Maple Trees. And in spring, maple trees have new green leaves. Remember, our adopted tree is a maple tree. So our adopted tree, we should see some new green leaves when spring comes. Can you name the season for each maple tree? What would you think that is? Would you say fall for that one? How about that one? That was what our adopted tree looked like a little bit ago when we had that snowstorm in the winter. And here could be the spring. It says seasons are a repeating pattern. First, it is spring. Next, it is summer, fall, and winter. Then it is spring again. Let's take a look at the arrows. Spring, summer, fall, winter, and then back to spring again. These are maple seeds. What will happen when they are planted and grow? These are maple seeds right here. We'll see if we can find some of those when our adopted tree, when it turns spring. These are what the seeds look like. I used to call them whirlybirds when I was young. I guess I still call them whirlybirds. We'll see if we can find some whirlybirds on our adopted tree when the spring comes. What I'd like you to do today is take a quick walk outside and look at your adopted tree. And if there are any changes or anything you notice, go ahead and make a note in your science notebook. Have a wonderful day.